Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
That's what you.
Really?
That's what you play over the little PA system when you're booking people in. It's like, it's too late to apologize. He's like, I'm so sorry, sir.
Can you
Nope,
not?
it's too late. It's too late for that.
Really?
Yeah, we did that a lot.
Can you
That's
not
really funny.
apologize for crimes and then be just immediately forgiven?
Depends who you are.
That's
Okay.
If I arrested you and you apologized, you would be immediately forgiven.
Super sorry for peeing in public and being hammered at a park, because that's something I would probably do.
It was the kids being around that was the problem.
Is
really.
it?
Yeah.
No, it'd just be the moms.
Is it
soccer moms.
mood based? Because
Yes.
I mean, I
Sorta.
I reflect on that. Like sometimes I go into work and I'm angry, so I'm gonna light someone the fuck up, for probably nothing. And I imagine, sometimes you go to work angry and you're just like, it's the littlest thing. You ran a stop sign, fuck you, I'm running everything. You got expired plates, your license is close to expiring, you're going to jail no matter what.
So I think it's like the perfect storm of when your mood is bad and that person's being a straight asshole.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, I know how this is going.
I think I told this in the podcast the other day. I got pulled over going 81 and 60. My bad. But I was in at like midnight, and I just did my normal thing, rolled down the windows, and I was fully accepting the ticket because it's like I was an asshole. I was knowingly going over the speed limit. It was like midnight on a country road.
Yeah.
But he did give me the speech. She was like, "There's a lot of deer out here." I'm like, I know. It's. I would have to file the insurance claim.
At least he gave you a real,
he was
real
cool.
threat.
He was cool.
Like, there's a bunch of deer out here. You're gonna fucking smack into this.
Don't want you to
That's
die.
a nice F-150. Don't fuck that thing up on a white tail.
Yeah. At least he's not
Yes,
like,
sir.
this is a school zone. You're
One
like,
of my favorites
midnight.
was driving with my family down to Hilton Head Island. We got pulled over to speed trap. You know when it just drops to like 35 miles an hour, and you're like,
Yeah, it's like 70 to 35.
wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. So we got pulled over right away, and super Southern cop, old school back in the day, was with my stepsister in the back seat, and he looks at my dad and he goes, "Sir, were you aware that you were speeding?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was trying to get it down. I think I was going 40 and a 35." And he goes, "Yeah, you were. How'd you like to see your pretty little daughter's face smashed all over that windshield right on spring break?" It was like, I wouldn't want to see that.
God.
It's like, it
and I
turns
was like,
into
"Yeah,
Chris Farley's motivational speaker character.
Yeah,
guy, like,
how do you want
to see your kid's face smashed in the-
Entry scene to Leaving Alabama.
What?
Aren't you just recounting a movie right now?
No. That was my real life. Hilton Head Island was where we
the
were
movie was
going.
based on that experience.
Oh, yeah. that must
Hilton
have
Head
been.
Island, and we were in, I want to say,
God, who
like,
vacations
Georgia.
at Hilton Head Island?
Come on, we're a Southern family.
You might as well have gone to Tybee Island.
Where did you go as a child?
Oh, I went to Lake Crescent.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I bet you got your
place-
dit sucked there, didn't you?
My tits sucked?
Yeah.
What's a dit?
Yeah, did I get my tits sucked?
I was. It was.
Oh, man, I
between
was just
dick
a fresh
and tits.
14-year-old with no hair just getting my tits sucked.
What does that cost?
80. It costs.
Is that like-
$80.
is that a
That's the
service?
going
Before
rate.
we officially introduce our amazing guest today, do you think that's a fetish that people have?
Yes.
They're just like, no, like a guy. That they're
Yes.
just like, hey, I'll pay you $30, suck on my nips
Yes.
a little bit.
Suck my nips.
I'm not
Do you have to
surprised by
suck
any
both?
fetish whatsoever.
No,
Do
no.
you have to suck both, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Would it be weird if it was like only the left
lick
one?
it.
I don't
it.
like
Only
my
the left
nipples
one.
being touched. I get fucking tickly.
But imagine if you had one nice sucked on, and then the breeze hits it, it airs it out, cools it down. You're off center.
I only want
You're
my
off
nipples
center.
sucked
You get
on
the
if
other
there's
one
a
sucked
finger up my ass.
Yeah. You go two nuck? Are you a two nuck guy?
What, go all the way in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
you
gone
go
all
past
the way.
that second nuck.
I've gone almost to the thumb.
Really?
Wait, you guys aren't wristers? sorry.
You're not.
But
you're not
the
wristers.
thing is
welcome to the
it's
show.
not
Mike.
wristers. It's a flip of the coin though, because if you were
I've seen it in the
brewing
jail.
up a poop and you go that deep in
Yeah.
there, you unleash some hell and it just comes flowing out.
Oh, I bet it does.
Jared, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yeah, you're strapping yourself to
Jeez.
a fucking metal pole like Helen Hunt and Twister, just holding on for dear life. We're like, God.
I can't stop it. The sheets are ruined. I gotta get a new mattress pad.
Hey, that's
Oh, man.
What sucks is regular vacuums aren't wet dry vacs.
No, they're not.
As it turns out.
Three vacuums.
Hey, I'll give you. You have a mattress cover, dude. Like proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Like you can wash that bitch. If you stay in the mattress, that's a $1,200 mistake. Anybody got that
trust
kind of
me,
money.
I'm fucking $8,000 deep.
That doesn't include the vacuums.
No,
That's
just a
episode
nap.
1000. We buy Jared a male hooker.
Oh
Yeah.
no! I don't want to do dude sex.
Well, you can. Well, you're not a wrister. Introduce our guest here, by the way.
Oh, we've got Officer Daniels and Mike the Cop, my two favorite cops ever.
Yeah. Do you prefer to be called Leos or Elios? Answer that lifelong question.
Elios, sure. I don't.
I think Leo, yeah, is just.
I don't think anybody
calls
calls
to put it.
calls us that.
Never.
Leo.
Well, if you say Leo, people get confused with the.
Is that your
DiCaprio.
name?
Astrological sign.
Yeah.
Is that your
People are-
name? Is that your?
Good. That's been a debate online that's been going on. We have the answer. Elio, you want to spell it out?
Elio.
Yeah, spell it out. Spell it out. Don't be a pussy.
No,
Don't say it.
Is that a Leo? Yeah. When you say Leo, it just reminds me of some 22-year-old blonde Californian that's trying veganism to fucking assimilate into some niche culture, and she's like, "I'm a Leo.
Who wants to
We're
fuck
not
a vegan chick
compatible."
anyway.
Right,
You know, they're
exactly.
just
I don't
gonna
know why-
complain.
Yeah.
Really got that backstory
Obviously,
on that
they
girl.
don't like meat.
Look at Frank.
The package has a.
Hey, what's up, Flank?
Look
No,
at that.
look at he's delivering gifts.
Flank,
Would you
come on
look
in.
At that?
Come
Would
on
you
in.
just look at it?
Everybody knows Franklin, the meme master. Even though he's still on the
Hey,
clock. but
hey, Franklin, look in the camera and wave.
Wanna say
This
hi
is
to
on
the-
video as well. There you go.
Center camera.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
I like it says hashtag Frank Machine
Frank
on
Machine.
your
Yeah,
on your
you
back.
can't fuck
He's
around
not
with
playing
that.
around.
No, playing for keeps.
So what the fuck's up, guys? Thanks for coming into town.
Hell yeah.
You guys are probably, I think, two of the biggest influencers in the LEO space and doing some amazing things, some really funny content. I mean, I remember seeing your guys' stuff. Shit, but you've been on for a couple years, right? Because
2014 for me.
How many followers?
And
you
it
guys
was
have?
Vine, right? Did you start in Vine? Because that's when for some reason, Vine, I loved the platform because it was fucking mindless and it was, 7 seconds of entertainment. And it was like, I was just quoting you, but like, your Uber driver's here. I was like, dude, this shit's super funny because I like how you guys kind of taking the same fucking approach that we have. Like being in the military, there's a lot of dark and shitty stuff you have to deal with. And we kind of just use humor as a way of fucking dealing with it and making our situations a little lighter. And it seems you guys are doing the same because what cops have to do on a daily basis is just, God, it's everybody's worst day pretty much that you're dealing with. So, I mean, you guys can speak to that, I'm sure,
Right.
but
Yep.
it's been super cool seeing all the social shit you've been putting out.
Been fun.
Yeah, you're super talkative.
I
So,
didn't
guys, this is called a podcast.
wanna
And
step
what
on
we do is
Mike.
we
I thought
talk
Mike was
on
gonna
it.
talk.
I'm waiting for him to talk. I'm giving him the floor.
Talk.
Oh
look
man,
at
he's
you two.
the OG man.
It's
He's
almost
the
like you
Vine
guys
star.
fucked last night, and you're deciding whether or not to
It's
tell
like
each
that
other.
episode when
Where
you
are we
guys
going?
accused
Your
me and
friendship
Donnie
is
of
over.
having sex.
Thank you very much.
That's what I
Cheers,
feel like.
cheers, boys.
Cheers.
We're sharing Jameson. Where's your mouth been, Mike the Cop?
Depends which day.
You've been married for what? 25 years, you said?
23,
24,
coming up on
3.
23.
What's her name?
Sherry?
Sherry.
Sherry the Cop.
Oh, you don't have to drink that if you don't want
Oh,
to.
Have you guys
want to.
ever killed somebody in the line of duty?
Negative. I have not.
Ross?
What? I
can
want to.
ask that.
I
You can ask that.
Yeah.
No,
Who
I
can
haven't.
I ask?
God.
Reason being, I've always wanted to kill someone, and now I just want to know.
So you
if,
wanted to know if you should go into this field?
Well,
Or is
no,
it-
yeah, exactly.
I keep telling Ross, if you served your country, you might have been able to do that.
I
in the name
wanted
of freedom.
to, Matt, but I had asthma. You didn't know this about me. No, I'm kidding. We just finished this script where it's Matt and them are all non-military, but they all wanted to go,
They
but
all
they had
wanted
asthma.
to.
Yeah,
All
they
wanted
couldn't-
to.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Couldn't do it. We couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, I have no excuses like that
Would
whatsoever.
you help us commit the perfect crime?
Yes.
Oh,
Fuck,
see?
yes.
That's a friend.
Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
perfect.
Here's
was
what I
this-
really...
was
Wait.
this was there a debate that I would help you?
This is my fucking dream, okay? So no lie, we've had this, me and my wife, Jessie, is diehard avid murder. She loves every murder podcast, murder show. She'll watch murders all goddamn day. Sleep to it, no lie, because she goes to sleep super early because we have a kid. And it's
The only one
always
in America that has a kid.
murder podcast,
Yeah,
exactly.
I know.
I'm
You
special.
You got to go to bed
I'm
early.
super
because
special.
They have a kid, Mike.
And we've always talked about the best way to murder someone and get away with it. What is it?
Let's not give those
Is it
secrets
acid?
out.
You stab them with an icicle, and then it melts.
Somebody else has said that too.
But that's it's
No.
A real one. I want a real
Something
way.
murder.
What's
no,
the best
you
way?
cook a rack of. You had the frozen rack of lamb. You beat them in the fucking head and kill them, and then you cook it and you feed it to the cops that come over.
That's a
my
really good
God.
idea.
Wow.
That's actually a short story that I read before. I just made that up.
All right, but real talk. Is it acid?
I don't know, like Breaking Bad acid.
Well, has there been a murder case you guys haven't been able to solve?
You mean like
figured out?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lot.
there's all kinds of murder stuff.
Yeah, but
Like,
how do I get
I
away
one
with
time
it?
kicked a guy that I thought was homeless, and it turns out he had been shot and dumped there. Like they didn't solve that.
Really?
Yeah, how are you going to solve that? It's just a shot guy.
Man.
I was kicking him, trying to
That
wake him
guy
up. I
that
think he
shot.
was dead.
So let me ask you this: like Jared and I want to do bum fucks, right? If we
bum
fucked a
fucks.
bum,
Yeah.
and we just ran up on a bum and fucked a bum, would you guys even investigate that, or would you be like, they're bums?
No.
Depends if the department's big enough to have like a bum fucking investigation
are-
squad.
Okay.
You are flipping what we wanted to do. We did not
Yeah.
want to roll up and fuck a bum. We wanted to pay them to fuck them.
No, yeah, we wanted to pay them. But hypothetical, let's say
Yeah,
we
you
were
don't wanna
out
just
of
abuse
cash
them.
that
No,
day.
we're not rapers.
Right,
Makes
like-
it so much better.
We're not rapers.
JT,
so not a raper. Ask first and offer some cash. I mean, nothing substantial. You're talking like $43, mostly in change.
Yeah.
or cheeseburgers in consumables.
And a
as well.
Jersey Mike's card with $8 left on it,
Yeah.
which can buy you a full
Sure.
sandwich and a bag of chips.
Well, I think right with the murder, it's the hard part is if it's motive. That's the big one. If there's no significant motive, it's hard to narrow, and it, like
A
it's
detective has a checklist. You know,
Of
it's like,
course.
okay, I'm gonna ask the neighbors. Did you hear anything? And I'm gonna interview. You know, who's the closest people to this person, and then you just start looking at a trail. Like, and most people that commit murder are really stupid, or they did it right out of I was listening to this couple that he ended up accidentally killing his ex-wife or something like that. But they were both on security tapes buying fucking sawzalls and gloves and plastic and everything like that. Like so it's
Dude.
like, wait a minute, like there's something happened in this bathtub, and then the minute they do that, they go, okay, pull the security.
I've always
cameras
thought that like the perfect murder would be like you're the guy that works at like the DMV, and then like people just treat you like shit, and when they get up at the end of the line, and you like just randomly pull them like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, and then there's no way to connect them. Like,
Yeah.
what's the common denominator?
There'd be
they all treated this guy like an asshole at the DMV, but you never know that.
You would never be
kind of
able
like
to find
scans
it
the
out.
license. Like I know where they live now, and now you plan out how to.
there'd be
execute
so many
the
cool
murder.
one-liners before death. Like
Or-
you don't have to wait in line this time, bitch. I don't know, some cheesy ass
somebody
fucking.
too at distance. You taking a shot at somebody over 200 yards. Like, there are very few people in the country that are even subject matter experts to try and figure that out, let alone small town departments or small county areas.
So,
Like,
all right, so shooting somebody at 200 yards is where.
plus. If you-
okay.
yeah.
Like that guy in remember
Ballistics.
that guy in remember that guy in Maryland,
Ballistics to what?
the
You're
Cadillac.
not-
He was shooting people in his.
With
Unless
the
you
DC
have a reason
sniper guy?
Yeah,
to
the sniper
check
guy, yeah.
your gun, all you have is a bullet. You only have one piece. Even
Yeah.
if you have that.
But they'll search calibers, the time that they were bought around the
then they're gonna
area.
look- yeah, so if you
Depends
bought
how
a
long you
weapon,
own the gun.
You bought a long gun. If you had an existing long gun.
Why are you trying to educate people on how to murder?
Wait,
people?
wait.
Like this
So
is
here-
going
wait,
off
I'm
of a
no.
really weird.
I'm glad you
saying,
did,
right,
because
like,
here was my wife's theory on this, right?
Because the only way they caught the fucking DC sniper was because he fucked up. And the cop, the beat cop, like walked right past the van that had the hole in it. After that, like they would have been scratching their head for fucking months.
Scratching their dongs.
Yeah, like-
my wife said this. She said you start buying things in advance. So like if you want to kill somebody, you buy a shovel, but it's like a year ago. Then you
Right,
buy
right,
rope,
Or you
and
go
like
to a
6
yard
months later-
sale
Yeah,
and pay cash.
pay cash. Yeah,
I don't really know how a shovel and rope helps in a murder. I think that's just
strangle
Hollywood
them,
how you're
stuff,
and then you
killing
gotta
know?
you gotta
bury 'em.
You gotta bury him, Matt. Come on, you're not animals.
Okay, there's. Whatever.
Fucking.
I'm
Or a
not.
pig-
I'm
or a
not
pig
personally.
pen, you throw them to
Unless
the-
you
we're
had
not gonna
that- unless
push
you
him
had
out to
acid,
sea.
then you
I
put him in
I mean,
acid.
if you had
Yeah.
a friend with a pig farm.
I feel like
Yeah.
you guys are teaching ISIS how to lay IEDs right now, and I don't condone it.
No, we're not.
we're
I'm
not,
just
man.
saying
We're
these
just talking about
these aren't
murders.
like new concepts. Like
Why are you afraid to murder
there's
with us?
there's been what two to
I've
three
killed enough people in my day.
snipers.
I'm not opposed to it.
like serial snipers,
It's super fun.
the DC sniper, and that was a child, wasn't it?
It was a father and son.
Father
kind
and
of
son,
thing,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Come on out, son. Let's
He was
go
at
out.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty young.
But I mean, like, but there's. How do you do that?
Whatever
How do
happened
you-
to the
how do you
guy
even
in Phoenix that was killing people?
Like-
He was sniping people on the expressway a few years ago, right? A couple years ago.
shooting people on the
I don't even
freeway?
think it was a couple
I
years
think
ago.
all
I
the
think he
people that have been
bounced.
It was
caught.
when Daniel Shaver
It was
happened too,
literally
so
an accident. Like
2014, 2015. I don't know.
Yeah.
it wasn't like Jack Reacher, you know.
Where were you guys working? What city?
No. We don't ask that.
Oh,
Question.
you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. All right. What's the most fucked up thing you've ever seen?
Somebody else just asked me that here in this building. I don't know. It depends. Related to what? Because that's a big question.
To your mind, where you were just like, whoa, I've seen it all, but I haven't seen this.
Oh man,
It's a hard question.
that's a really. It's I know it sounds strange, but it's hard because it's like there's like this Rolodex of fucking experiences. So like
Unbroken light bulb in someone's ass. Full ham stuffed in someone's vagina. Like, what's the?
no, like so like that. All what comes to my mind is we got called because some dude hooked up his wife. They were getting kinky in their apartment, locks her up in handcuffs, doesn't have a key. So we get to go be the ones to undo the handcuffs.
Let me ask you this: did they ask you to stay?
Jokingly, I think they did. Yeah, I think everybody kind of like laughed it off, and then I just grabbed a root beer out of the fridge and left.
How was she
You got a
naked?
root beer out of it.
Yeah.
That's a
nice thing.
benevolent gesture from that nice couple.
Were they hot?
No, it's never the people that are naked are never the ones you want to see naked in a police
Figures.
career. I've never really seen hot people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
It
true.
figures. It's never them, right?
Well, maybe people that take care of themselves are more inclined to be a little more prepared potentially,
Or
I
maybe
don't
have
know.
their lives together. You know,
Yeah,
not find themselves.
like maybe I'll just
naked
use
meeting the police.
bolt cutters to cut the fucking handcuffs and then find a key later.
Anything besides calling a whole bunch of
Or
other
Google
people
how to
your
get out of
apartment.
handcuffs, and if they're not locked, just stick a little thing in there and open them. Whatever.
Was
you
she
know.
shaved?
Yes.
Yeah. What did her
I don't
vagina
really.
look like?
Hey,
feel
did
like
I miss
remember
something
that.
here? Are you guys talking
I think
about naked
I-
people?
Yeah.
I think
What
he had kind
happened?
of like tried to put some type of like underwear up on her or something. I don't know. I don't remember the
Was she
details.
dead?
No, she was alive.
Oh,
man.
I missed
Oh,
the part of
man.
the story. We were talking about something.
Some people though fuck dead bodies. You guys ever got any necrophilia cases?
No, thankfully, no.
That's just gross.
Yeah, that's messed
Who's
up.
he texting? I wonder.
Sorry, I was getting a FaceTime. They'll keep calling unless I tell them to stop.
Did you ever
No.
have to arrest anybody that was a fan?
I have had people recognize me while I've already arrested them. Yeah. Yes.
Are you
How
still a
would
police
people-
officer?
Yeah.
Oh,
No
still-
shit.
That's
Yeah,
why
I'm
we're
still
not going into
part-time.
locations there.
I
Chance.
left. I
Yeah.
worked in Metro Detroit. I left and went about 45 minutes out of the city and got a little part-time cush job, like 2 times a month.
Did you
Okay.
bring any Flint water for us to drink?
I can get that bottled up and sent to you easily.
We're talking about water. Not to bring up your story. This is super sidebar, but like Austin, I guess has it like what the water's all jacked up right now.
Austin, Texas.
That's what happens when you let vegans control the
Overflow
water.
rainwater, and so now like they're not allowed to. They're shut everything down.
Wow.
Good thing
Man.
we live in San Antonio.
Yeah, the people would be sucking each other's dicks for water. That's what happened at the.
I hope I have to do. I mean,
Yeah, well,
You mean nipples, sucking nipples
it's not
for water.
gay. It's not
Yeah.
gay if you have to do it for water, though.
that's true. Because
Yeah,
you got to
so I'd be
live.
fine.
What
gotta
about
live.
booze, beer,
What?
like
I'm just
any
a,
liquid
if I'm a little
substance?
tipsy, it's fine.
Okay. I feel like this is Jared slowly coming out in the show. You know, like
Yeah,
knuckles in the butt. Maybe I'll do some pegging.
knuckle up, dude. Yeah.
Nah,
We need a gay friend, dude. It'd be really helpful.
It would be a nice thing
Because then we
to
could
have a gay
be
friend on
super
the show.
anti-hate when people call us like
no,
bigots and
because I couldn't
homophobes.
attract
Yeah.
any hot dudes. I just have like sloppy.
Yeah,
gay
but
dudes.
you would like date construction workers that have eating habits like you, and it'd be awesome
Yeah.
because I'd invite you over. You'd be like, "Hey Matt, you want me to hang that painting over there? I gotta dig Jared out in about 8 minutes. It's gonna take me about 4 to get it up."
Hey,
Like,
it's
dude,
gonna
that's awesome.
stink up your bathroom for a little while.
He just lives off chorizo burritos.
No, man, we just dug each other out for a little bit.
He really jarred something loose.
That smell's gonna just stick to the paint, my man.
Man, I'm gonna have to dump out in there. Jared really jarred something loose in me. That tiger.
But Matt would be nice enough to like buy us a porta shitter to put in the yard, and that's our fuck place.
Ooh,
I would.
and your shit place. Because afterwards, I would imagine you have to take a huge shit after being railed out
God
by a
dang
dude.
it, I'm so
No?
sorry. For this.
No, but that's just a
Yeah,
genuine
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Look, we're drinking.
I think
Whoever's watching this on video, subscribe on YouTube. I've got my feet up because we're short on chairs.
Yeah,
what
thank you
kind
for
of
that.
chairs do you have in here?
These are drafting chairs.
Drafting
yeah,
chairs.
These are drafting chairs.
I'm in a tiny Tim chair. I feel
the
like I'm
desk
in
is
this.
high.
I'm
the
in the
desk is
Special
high,
Olympics.
You know,
it's fine.
specifically so we could get good angles, Ross.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about you? What's the most fucked up thing you've ever seen? Long pause there. Real long. Audio show.
He's got a lot.
Audio
he's got a lot.
show.
He's
Audio.
digging deep.
Yeah.
Audio show?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Have to be a car accident. Just
Ew.
What happens? Somebody's missing their hands?
yeah.
The hands got chopped off?
Or a head.
What question is that, Ross?
Or a head.
Well, describe why it was fucked up. I mean, you can't just
Yeah,
say auto
Because
accident.
you can have probably a whole family get in a fucking terribly
Ew.
tragic accident, and then you
I don't
have
wanna
to
see
play
that.
pickup, and I think it'd probably be one of the worst things to see,
I
because then
wanna-
you have to drive home that night to probably your own
I'd rather go
family.
back to war.
Oh, all day. War's
Is
like
it the
war-
same way? Like if you've been
No.
in combat to say like what's the most fucked up thing you saw? Like
Oh, there's a list of ideas.
Not
like,
really.
define
So-
what's weird.
but the thing
because
is,
I feel like it's just there's a whole bunch of experiences over a decade.
That's
that I'm
why
like,
That's why I didn't ask you that question.
I don't know.
No. But here's why I asked that question. So when we were working on Matt's book, it was the very first thing I asked you. I said, "What was the most fucked up thing you saw, and or did?" And you answered right away.
But I had previous thought into that, and I knew what would play in the context of authoring a book. That would,
Really?
Well, yeah.
So that wasn't just off the top of your.
Well, I mean, it's the most wow story, right? I mean, there's certain things like I shot a guy in the face. Like, that's not that crazy. But then if you're doing other things that are really gnarly and kind of bridge the gap between being an animal and human,
God, I hope this book comes out. It's a great story. Yeah. We've purposely not shared any of these on the show because it's a fucking awesome story. But you've never walked in on somebody
every night.
But you've never walked in on somebody getting,
Wristed.
Wait, what?
Wristers? You never walked in on
Wristed.
wristers?
What is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's you.
Oh, fuck.
Are you married?
Me, no.
Have you ever fucked another cop in a car?
That's a tangible question.
It is.
Because I know a lot of cops that have.
But yeah, because I
know a lot of girls that just have.
There was a female detective. I'm not going to say what her name was. She's a drinking bro. And that was the first question I asked her. You ever fucked in this car?
Of course.
And she said there's too much gear.
Too much gear?
It's too much shit. It's to take all that off and try to put it back on again.
Would
It's
be
too
a
much.
pain. It would be a pain.
Well, hey, there was two Air Force cops, and male, female. The female was blowing the mail while they were driving on the flight line, and they ran into an F-15, and
Holy
fucked the whole
shit.
jet up.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Saw
an
that.
expensive mistake.
I did see
Who
that.
pays for that?
Yikes.
The Air Force.
Wow.
What are you going to take?
Us?
Yeah,
You're gonna pay
$30,000 a year.
Yeah, you're gonna pay this off in
Taxpayers?
7 lifetimes.
Yeah, 7 lifetimes, $26 million
Can you
in
pull
damage.
up the story of the New York PD detective that just came out? The female and the underwear.
I was shoving underwear down somebody's throat.
What? Yeah.
As a sexual thing or?
Yeah. Check this out.
Wait, so
Underwear.
explain it.
Try underwear, yeah. Underwear detective.
Yeah, that's her.
The middle one's fine.
What happened? Explain the story.
So for one, I don't get. The
NY, can I
picture.
read the title real quick,
Yeah.
Dave? NYPD boss accused of stuffing her panties in a coworker's mouth.
sounds fun.
Who would complain about that?
Yeah,
I mean,
why
unless
would
they were
you
like
say
super
anything?
dirty.
I really don't understand that picture.
Me neither. I don't.
Like,
What is she doing? Is
looks
that
like
a
she's
hip-
playing
a hip-
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
So the story I read was
That's a half-ass Halloween
Another-
costume, man.
Yeah.
a male complained that she was leaving her underwear in the unisex bathroom and asked her to stop, and that's when she shoved her underwear down his mouth and said he had a small dick.
That's great. Why do people come out and say shit like that? Like,
Yeah, why are
Just
you
be
going to
cool about it
that
and be
to the
like,
press?
all right,
That's
cool.
kind of a cool boss.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you have a small dick. Like, I'm sure there's 1,000 things he said that he could get in trouble for.
Exactly.
I can't go 10 minutes without saying something fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Jared, right before we came on air, Jared looks at me and he goes, "Why do women get to vote?" Jesus, man.
They didn't want to vote.
No.
You know
We
that,
made
right?
them. We
yeah,
made them
they
vote.
didn't want to because when it first came out,
Yeah.
the legislation said, okay, well, if you guys want to vote, you have to be selected for the draft, and you also have to do fire duty because
Yeah.
at the time in
The fire brigade.
yeah, you had to do your time as a fire, and they were like, oh no, we don't want this.
Well, that's
Yeah,
like
we
if
would
people
vote.
ever point a finger.
That's what- wait, we have to have the responsibilities too if we vote. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Typical women.
A lot of smiles out of Matt.
I'm
Not a
not-
lot of
I'm not
dialogue.
saying
touching
shit.
that one. He's not touching it.
No, it's fiery hot. I'm all about equality, man. If I'm just saying, if I was in that position.
So what do you mean? You're
and
all
no,
about equality?
No. But I'm saying like if given American culture and if like motherfuckers or girls open doors for me and like all these things, the perks that coming with being like chivalrous. Why combat that? I think that's pretty rad. You don't have to necessarily accept it in your own personal relationship, but what makes that wrong? I think it's pretty rad. Motherfuckers open doors for me, slap me on the ass. Hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Catcalling.
sold. Equality,
Yeah.
Catcalling. Nah.
but
no, I will say
selective equality.
guys,
Yeah.
as cops, there's so many dirtbags out there. Like my wife and her friend will go out in San Antonio and they get fucking catcalled. And it's good because if we drop them off at the mall and they'll like fucking follow them sometimes, and then they run into me and I just like stare at them and smile and they get really uncomfortable and walk away. Because I'm just like, dude, let's fist fight, right? It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know where I went there. I just wanted to fucking kill someone. Apparently,
is it legal to enter into a joint fist fight? You know, if you
Yes.
both. That is legal.
Yeah, there's like ordinances like against fighting sometimes. Like, so a city may say, hey, you can't have fights in public, but you're not going to charge anybody. Nobody's going to get arrested for like, oh, he assaulted me. It's impossible if you have like they call them mutual combatants. So like,
Yeah.
you've got two people that agreed to fight. The most
Yeah,
they're
and
gonna
then the
get is
one that
probably, like,
loses wants to press charges.
disorderly
all the time.
conduct,
Yeah.
maybe.
but
they'll
right,
get,
that's
you know, stroke
what
a ticket or
I
something
truly
like that.
believe we need to bring back good old fashioned fist fighting. You know,
Yeah.
no curb stopping motherfuckers when they get knocked out, no stabbing motherfuckers, but it's like you disagree to such an emotional point that you go, let's just fucking throw a couple blows, because I guarantee after a couple right hands and some hooks, you're just like, we're fucking dumb males. Let's go share a beer and talk about pussy, you know? And then the world is a better, healthier place.
Love
It's why I
talking
like The
about
Purge.
pussy.
I think The Purge,
I
the
love
movie,
it.
is fucking great. Like, some people just got some shit they need to get out of them.
I want to talk about pussy.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about pussy.
In the state you work in, are gay men allowed to have sex in barns? Because that's not in mine.
Not on Sundays.
Ah,
I think that's the caveat.
gotcha.
Really?
Otherwise, I don't know. It's like one of those strange laws, you know,
Yeah.
like you can't like tie your alligator to
It
a
is
fire
illegal
hydrant or
to
something
commit
like
a crime wearing body armor. Like,
Ooh.
I guess that's just to charge them with more, right?
that. Upsell the charge, yeah.
Yeah, because you're already committing an act, and then it's a little worse act because you got some body
It's
armor
just
on.
that much worse, yeah.
But what if it's like 50 Cent and he just likes wearing a 9mm vest? It's like more aesthetic. Could you put that in court? Be like, listen, it wasn't there for protection. It was there for aesthetics. It's part of my fucking
Yeah,
my
absolutely. I think you can get away with that.
All right, let's run down some cop movies here. Answer some questions for us.
Lethal Weapon.
First
how
one,
good?
Loaded
So
Weapon.
good.
Amazing. The
So
original? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
God.
the TV show?
I haven't
Which
watched it
TV
yet.
show?
Lethal Weapon?
Never seen it.
Great. All right,
Loaded Weapon.
Loaded Weapon.
Oh, wasn't that like was that a spoof?
Yeah, it had.
I might have seen it,
Mighty
but it's been
Ducks in it.
forever.
Super
What's his name?
Troopers.
Amazing.
Love
Okay.
it.
2? Super Troopers 2?
Haven't seen it.
It's not bad.
Police Academy,
Love it.
Classic.
1 through 8.
1 through 8. I'm more like a 1 through 4.
Ah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Training
End of
Day.
Watch.
One of the most realistic portrayals of partner relationships in policing for sure.
No
Great
shit.
movie. Yeah.
Training Day.
Yeah, I love it. But
Okay.
It's not
okay.
realistic, but I love it.
Super good movie.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
Fun
great.
to watch.
You
Classic.
shot me in the ass, Jake. Big fan of Training Day.
I like when
love
they make
Training
the meme when it says when none of your friends like your post, and it's like, oh, I got you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Super. That. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your all-time favorite cop movie?
Ooh, man. That is probably
Piranha 3D. It had cops in it.
I'm gonna say End of Watch. I think it's still like probably the top
Okay.
movie.
Do you guys watch Live PD? Let me ask you
I
that.
hate live PD
Yeah, we talked about
Sucks.
that earlier.
Tell us why.
because I feel like completely bored to death. Like I'm at work. Like it drags on. Like Cops had like action. It's edited down, so like show me the action.
Right.
Live PD drags on, and the commentators are
Dummies.
useless. They don't like they're not commenting on things that are like of value to the actual what I'm looking at.
Does the cops soundtrack amp you up? Because I'm not even a cop, but it's like, what you gonna do when they come for
I
you,
play that,
bad
rolling
boys,
around
bad
playing
boys?
that
I'm like,
for
That
sure.
just
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me think of O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Like I love turning up like AC/DC in a Pursuit or something like that.
Do you
know?
really?
Oh yeah, like play loud music, 5 Finger Death Punch, like just kick it up and.
That's
No
great.
shit.
I
That's
I guess
great.
we all
Yeah.
kind of come from the same place.
Are you
then.
guys podcasters?
Mike is.
I do one, yeah.
What's it called?
Off the cuff.
Off
It's
the
not
cuff.
the one where it's like where Jared would love being in this the BDSM podcast. It's there is one called Off the Cuff,
Whoa.
and it comes up sooner.
What's BDSM?
I don't know.
That's
It's just the
bondage?
just the
It's,
abbreviation.
I don't remember what the
Do you not know?
Yeah.
Do you not know what BDSM is?
I didn't know what that stood for. What's the D?
What does
stand
it
for?
stand
Bond-
for?
I don't know what the
Something
Dominate,
dominant sadomasochism.
Sadomasochist.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what the B stands for now that I think about it.
Bondage.
Bondage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's not that one. But it's like down the line, off the cuff.
Has your wife ever asked you to arrest her in the bedroom?
Oh man,
That's
in
really
the bedroom?
personal.
No,
Not really.
She's
No,
asking
not
me.
really.
she's
wearing a
asked. Yeah,
uniform.
she's asked. She's
What
asked
about-
Officer
I'll ask you the
Daniels.
same thing. In uniform, has anybody ever asked you to fuck them in your
I mean,
Ranger shit?
now that I think about it, actually, my wife, I came home and she's like, "Let's play dress up for Halloween." She was dressed as Osama bin Laden. She's like, assault my cave, bitch. You're SEAL Team 6. And I was like, can I be a ranger, though? I'm a ranger. She's like, no, you're a SEAL Team. I'm like, this is weird.
I don't know what to
I
do.
was like, but Bin Laden didn't get killed in the cave, sweetheart. He was shut the fuck up. That didn't happen.
Did ask my girlfriend to dress in her multicams and let me bang her in a porta potty.
Did you do it?
No.
Have you slept with her in her uniform?
No, not yet. I need to.
The military thing doesn't do it for me.
No, I want to do it in the porta potty
Why in a porta potty?
because it's like we could fake like we're deployed and we're being sneaky.
Yeah, but the scent.
So it's part of the experience.
Come on, everybody in the military
It's part of
knows
the
like
experience.
poop kind of turns you on because the only place you could jack off in
Yes,
the fob
Ross.
is the porta potty. So it's like shit and kind of sex just for 1 and 1.
So that stink
Yeah.
is you need that stink to get off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you go down that path, you just can't come back anymore.
No.
That's how you knew everybody like in
That's one reason I'm really glad I never
you
served
jack
in the
off
military.
in 115 degree weather. It's a solid 140 in that fucking
yeah.
porta
Yeah.
shitter.
It's-
You
you're
come
in
out
an
there like
oven.
a fucking Joe Rogan sauna, dude. You are covered in sweat, man.
Because
You
you're
feel so
working.
relieved. The breeze of the 120 degree weather hits you, and you're like, it's kind of cold out here for about 4 seconds.
The
and
only
you're like, I'm
time it
still in
gets
Iraq. This is
real
stupid.
bad is when the pile is cresting above
Yeah.
the
Oh,
seat.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And that's happened quite a few times.
Yeah.
But you try and
Do you
just
put-
splash all over that so your buddy that goes in next knows exactly what you were doing in there.
God.
Savages.
Do you use anything like a wooden spoon or like a poop stick?
To like smash it down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why you travel with cardboard in your pocket.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta push it down sometimes.
Oh, God. So you want to do that and then
This
fuck your
podcast
girlfriend in there
It's
While
going off
she's
the
wearing her
rails.
multicams.
while she's wearing multi-cam?
Yeah, she's gotta be in uniform for this to work. I want to because I could just pretend that we're sneaking around.
Why are you doing like little spirit
I don't know
fingers when you
because
say
we'd be
that?
sneaking. You know?
Sneaking.
Yeah. Because it's forbidden when you're over there and you know.
Did I ever tell
Yeah,
you that?
sneak
It's
around.
kind of in the book. I won't tell the whole thing, but I was doing an adult acts with a very nice young lady on one of my deployments. And I was obviously having to sneak around, and I'd go meet her during the day since we did operations at night. Had my own little Hilux. We are in the act, in the Hilux, hidden behind a Connex, and my pager goes off with all ones. So it was like, we have a mission right now. We fucking hardly ever go out in the day. So I'm like, pull out, throw my stuff on 50 miles an hour down the road to get there. The team just wanted to take a photo next to the helicopters, my CSAR team. And I was balls deep. And I'm like,
I got
"You
a good one."
fucks, why did you not like send zeros or something else that wasn't like urgent message? We need the whole fucking team, the wheels up and kit. For a fucking team photo?
We,
Could've waited 5
And
minutes.
you didn't get to come.
No, I did not.
That's shitty.
Yeah, that is
Well,
shitty.
so our like third day in Iraq, the second time in 2007, me and my buddy are walking through the gate at the BX, the like little store, and a hot redhead army chick is like eyeing us up and down because we're Air Force guys with long hair wearing army uniforms. She was like, "Who are you guys?" and starts talking us up and gives her room number to my buddy. It's like, I get off at 3, be there at 3:45. So him and I are sharing a room. So we get back. It comes to 3:30. He's like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna go find this room." I'm like, "Good luck, man. That's awesome." And he takes off. He's gone for like 3 hours. He comes back. I was like, "Damn, dude, 3 hours. That's nice." He was like, "No, man, there's a line." And I was like, "You waited there?" He goes, "Yeah, it's already there."
Whoa.
Say no to lines, dude. Cocaine and lines of chicks. No way. No
Let
to
me
both.
back this up. So
No.
she wanted to get fucked by a bunch of dudes?
I mean, there was 2 other people in front of him waiting for her room, and he waited in the line.
No way.
Yeah.
Because that was something she was into?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure she just, I mean, you're deployed and what are you going to do?
Just get boned all day?
Why not? If you could do it, if you could have a line outside your room, would you?
Yeah. I guess you're right. Fuck.
Yeah, imagine you are in a faraway country with nothing but women, and you're the only dude that looks good.
Yeah.
And they're just like...
I feel like that over here, though, sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
They're throwing themselves at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Everywhere.
That same story I just told, I had a really cool private at the time who was sleeping with one of the gate guards at the secure compound where he had a clearance to get on. And so he would coerce his girl that he was sleeping with to let me sneak on the base. So whoever you are, you know who you are. Thank you for your service.
Wow. Look at that.
That's solid work.
What
a good
about
friend.
What about you guys have any cop codes that go on of like, hey, I'm gonna fuck
I'm on
this
a
person
1051
yeah,
at a
fuck this person
firefighter's
I
house.
arrested.
Maybe back in the day, like I actually know a guy that got popped after going to a domestic call and then comforting the woman at a hotel shortly thereafter. And
What's the rules on
he served
something like
some prison
that?
time.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
straight up.
That's a serious offense.
So
Yeah,
you
you got
can't fuck them?
Apparently not. I'm glad I knew that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean,
sure-
no,
Avoid
that's
some
no, that's fair. Like,
mistakes.
what if you met someone on a call, but it wasn't necessarily like domestic violence? Like, you responded to, let's say, her son cut the hand off, or got in a serious injury. You know,
Let's just say run of the mill.
bro, the kid. You meet the mom at the call. You know, the ambulance goes away, and you're like, hey,
Why does she have to be a mom?
Do you
Like,
want
so
some
just
Thai
meet a
food?
Single.
I think that's a little bit different. Like afterwards, like this was like, hey, let me take you to the hotel, let me get you away from this dude, and then
got
like,
it.
hey, you know, while we're here, you know, I can comfort you a little bit more in this situation. Kind of thing,
Wow.
while I'm working. But that guy, I think that guy was also like running cocaine and doing a bunch of other shit. So
Oh,
It was a
so not really a
tap-on
cop,
upgrade.
more just like someone who somehow secured a badge that's a criminal.
yeah,
I think if
Back to your story. Did you want the kid to get his hand chopped off? Is that something you're into?
No, but life happens, man.
Okay.
if I was a cop, I'd sleep a lot.
yeah.
Can you do that?
I
Can you just park?
Those
and
are
sleep?
firefighters.
try. I could
not
never do
cops.
it.
You can't just park and hide and be like, I didn't pull anybody over
Try
today.
just like too many guys have been ambushed. I just get like it freaks me out in my head. Like I can't fall asleep in a car.
Oh,
So like
man.
I just go into the station and lay down or something like
you
that.
gotta
if I
tell
need,
you gotta
if I'm
tell
tired.
them, hey, if I'm sleeping, I'm not pulling you over, so fuck off.
No ambush.
put a
Like
note
they
in the-
walk up
put a
on the
note in the
car
window.
and shoot you.
Yeah,
Like I'm just taking a nap. Please leave me alone.
yeah. It was actually my friend that was a TAC P with me at Fort Bragg was the guy that hunted those two down in Vegas in the Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He was
like it.
telling me that story a couple weeks ago. It was nice. He got his revenge.
Nice.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Shit.
Where do you guys see yourself as far as like, are you still wanting to create content going forward and really like grow your audiences? And I mean, what's your overall mission for a guy like me? I just really want to like make people laugh and grow that audience and kind of bring value to people's life. It's like, what's your take on why'd you get into social media?
That was kind of my thing. You know, Vine was just kind of a thing, and I was just doing my own thing. I said, well, let me change it up a little bit and do something that is relevant to me and relatable to me. And I just started growing. And so Vine was, you know, a younger audience. And comments and some DMs, you know, you changed my perspective on law enforcement. I used to hate cops, so I saw your videos. I'm like, I wouldn't say my mission changed, but I certainly focused it more on, you know, what we do now with our nonprofit, humanizing the badge. And I didn't realize till I started posting on Instagram and gaining a following there that our videos were a form of escapism for first responders. You know, they'd deal with the shitty call, you know, pick up a dead baby on the side of the road after an accident and need to decompress in the car, and they'd pull up our videos. Or they would, you know, scroll some videos before they hit the streets for the night and kind of just, you know, get the pressure off of them a little bit. And that was really rewarding to me, getting like pictures and Snapchats and photos from departments and guys huddled around a phone watching our videos before hitting the shift. So that was pretty rewarding for me, and that was kind of like a turning point for me. Like, you know, this is doing more than just making me feel good, to getting to make people laugh. So
What was the response from like the department you were working at? I know for me that was like a really interesting dynamic where I was still carrying a gun professionally, and then a lot of that the people who supported what I was doing on social media were actually kind of working in the same capacity that I was, and there was a professional and personal overlap that kind of really made things complex for myself, and it eventually led to me kind of leaving because the two worlds came together as one, and I hated that because I didn't want to be like, you're that guy, while I'm like supposed to be this like cool guy with a gun. So
right.
did you run into that at all?
I approached it for, how do they say, beg for forgiveness instead of permission.
Right.
And, you know, I certainly went over everything and never represented anybody but myself. Never, you know, it was all on my own time, character-based, and that's kind of the parameters that got set once it grew into what it was. I think same for Mike, you know, you're not representing anybody, and you're not trying to be offensive in a way to become popular or something. It was just funny content, lighthearted content, and there was never really an issue.
That's good to hear. I think some people probably look at it as like you're an advocate for all of law enforcement or whatever. And like, you know, when we do things like this is what all veterans think, you're like, well, that's not the case. This is just what me and my personal opinions and my experiences feel. And I'm representing my opinions in a satirical way, and consume it if you want. If not, fucking dislike the page and move on with your life and follow someone else.
100%.
How many followers do you guys have?
I'm close to 2 million on Facebook and
Damn.
500,000 on
Instagram strong.
Damn. What about you, Mike?
Boom. I'm like less than half of that on both platforms. Like 197,000 Instagram and 600,000 ish on Facebook.
You should take a walk off the show, Mike.
Yeah.
No. I think we should.
I'm like the
shift.
I'm like the weakest link in this whole chain
Like,
of people.
let's go ahead and shift the
No, I am,
conversation
actually.
Not at
to
all.
how much of a d-bag Richard High is. That's what I would like to talk about. What
don't
a
even know
piece
who-
of
guy's
shit
so crazy.
Rich is.
Who is that?
No, he's my friend. He's Angry Cops. Him and I competed on that show, Blood on the Deck, against each other.
okay.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing.
He's the
hilarious.
craziest out of all of like sort of like the cop creators. That guy will say and do just about anything.
He ain't
So.
afraid of a suspension.
No, and it's happened. So
Yeah, a few times.
Are you guys above the law? Like, do you think you could go out tonight and get hammered and drive and feel like, yeah, they'd let me go?
No,
Me and
man,
Evan
I think
got
that's
pulled over the
pretty
other night.
risky, dude. Especially these days, like in this age, body cams and microphones and whatever else. It's hard to have, like, even if you wanted it. Like the good old boy network is not like what it once was or could have been for a lot of people.
Is that better or worse, you think?
Probably
Like,
both
probably-
sides.
Yeah, I can see good and bad. Like I think discretion is super, super important, and I think that most cops that are good cops use discretion, even with like shitbags that they arrest or deal with. Like that has a lot of value to it. So I mean, I think it's fine to extend the same discretion to, you know, people in your profession too. I think that's a good thing, but I can see it being abused. It's definitely been abused for sure.
You like wearing the body cams and all that shit? How do you feel about that?
I actually don't have a body cam. I just have a mic, so we can't
Okay.
afford body cams.
At your department?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Gotcha. I saw one just blew up on somebody the other day. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, it
Yeah, and
exploded.
then at New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They pulled all
New
like
York is
3,000
getting all
body
kinds
cams.
of excitement.
Yeah,
huh?
they pulled all 3,000 body cams because of it.
Oh wow.
It exploded on an officer, right?
That's
I don't know. I just
odd.
knew it blew up or something.
Yeah.
We can't be wearing these anymore until we figure this out.
That's crazy,
Was it
right?
a battery?
No
Imagine
clue.
I mean, I've never heard of a GoPro exploding.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Never say never.
They-
I know a lot of cops are actually putting GoPros on
I mean,
themselves. They
I
don't even,
heard
like,
that department
they don't
was
even
using
like they just want
Galaxy
to cover
Note 7s,
themselves because
actually.
there's so many people saying, "Oh, this guy's a racist asshole" or whatever else. He called me names, or he was disrespectful, or he's lying about why he pulled me over. So there's a lot of guys like literally just running their own cameras and
No
saving the footage.
shit.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Florida recently. This was a good one though. The woman immediately, or it was Georgia, immediately reported that he was racist and rude, and the department released the full footage
Oh, yeah.
and showed her acting like a fucking jerk off.
Yeah.
And they tagged her and like
Yes.
they were like, okay, you wanna run to the media, you wanna talk about all this, like, cause she did a like selfie video after he left about
While she
how
was driving.
racist the cop
Yeah.
was. Yeah, while she was driving, and then the department was like, we ain't having none of this shit. Full video. Here's how much of a fucking bitch this girl was. And
Yeah.
he was super fucking nice. Like the whole way. Just
Because that's the easiest card to pull is, oh, you're a fucking racist.
Yep.
And then it's just like, all right,
Well,
great.
think about crazy fucking, exes that you're with or something. Like, there's girls that will punch themselves in the face and claim domestic violence, And so it's like, I'm sure the same way with police officers, they'd be like, well, bam, you fucking hit me. And it's like, no, you literally just hit yourself. Here's some backup. It's documented. Like, there's your ass saved. Whereas then it's just you versus them.
Yeah, exactly.
And who's got the better lawyer? Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's tough business, man.
It is, man. What at this point, with all the shit involved with cops, do you worry that there's just not going to be, like, people are just going to stop doing this profession?
100%.
There's a decreasing pool of fucking intelligent people doing this job. There's a lot of people like that shouldn't be cops that are becoming cops because the pool is just so weak right now as far as qualified candidates. Because people with half a fucking brain are kind of like, well, I'm gonna go do this for $19 an hour.
Yeah.
And deal with all
Right.
that.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I think it's similar. I think how like the special operations community, and I think that they've changed it a decent amount. But like at least when I was in, I got like offered like a $3,000 bonus as an E5 team leader, master breacher qualified, 5 fucking deployments. I'm like, man, I want to make a living for myself. Not that I need to fucking be making $200,000 a year, but like 80 grand or something like that. Okay, like that's a career. That's fucking something I can live on. And it's like there's only so much like personal risk you're willing to absorb, and like sacrificing your personal life just to be this professional. I think police officers the same way, and they're not getting compensated correctly, which means you're going to pull from a lower talent pool, which means you're going to have more issues with fucking, relationships in the communities. And it's just like this fucking snowballing effect where it's
Absolutely.
like, why are we fucking burning so much taxpayers' money when we can allocate a little more fucking monetary resources to police departments and get these guys better trained, better educated, fucking paid better so they're happy in their fucking jobs? It's fucking moronic to me that we're not doing that. It's same like school teachers. Like, we expect their fucking kids to have a good public education. We pay these fucking people $14 an hour to get yelled at by fucking these shit kids. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who wants to do that job? The people are going to do that out of necessity, not because they want to make a difference. You can only have so much, like, I'm going to make a difference in my community, but then you're just getting shit on every day and you can't even buy fucking groceries. Who's going to do that job?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I worry about. Where with all of this shit, I mean, fuck, man, cops are getting killed, ambushed, like you were talking about earlier.
The Vegas one, they were eating.
Yeah.
They were just eating, and a couple was just like, "Oh, we're just gonna go up and kill these two cops."
Yeah.
Like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, the pay.
No, they're not assholes. They deserve to get dragged out in the fucking street and get their heads cut off and be like,
Yes.
anybody else fucking looks at police officers this way, we're gonna fucking
We're
publicly
gonna do
murder
this.
you.
We're gonna do
Wouldn't
this.
that
to
be
you.
something?
Be great.
I'd
wouldn't
love
it?
to do that. Like,
Same.
open up the fucking hunting tags on sex criminals. Fuck yeah.
What we were
let's
talking
do
about
it.
earlier, it's like this fucking modern day social media bullshit. It's like everybody thinks actions can exist without consequence, and I think that is engraved at such a young age in youth of America, where you can say and do whatever the fuck you want without consequence. And it's like, it's not how fucking life works. If you come and slap my wife's ass, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. That's just the way this works, bitch. And you're not gonna slap another woman's ass. You're gonna show some fucking respect. And I think that there's tiered levels of that as far as the participation in a criminal act and what people think they can get away with. Like, fuck that, man. People, it's just, yeah, whatever. Sorry, I get really riled up on that
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
It's like literally the pacification of America, and people think they can just do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck they want without consequence. It's like, it's not how real life works, homie.
Yeah, if you tie the hands of the people that are supposed to like enforce the laws, it really has a pretty shit impact.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, how does it change?
Leadership changes, man. It's got to be the same. Like, I don't. Maybe it doesn't have to be the same as like military, but right now it's leadership who are placating to
Yep.
pop culture.
Yep.
And then they're not backing up. They're not defending the guys. Because at the end of the day, like, there's this misnomer, right? Because you see these feel good stories on the internet floating around. So like, this cop pulls over some single mom who can't afford a car seat. Well, her kids are running around the back of the car, so he's gonna pull them over so the kid doesn't fly out the car when they get in a wreck. Pulls, can't afford a car seat, takes her into Walmart, buys a car seat. Well, everybody like loses their shit over that, and they share it. It's 10 million views because look at this cop. This is the kind of cop we need. Really, like, the cop is there to stand between the sheep and the wolves, right? So when the wolf comes in, we fucking kick him in the nuts and cut him off, and we send him running and don't ever come back here again, right? That's also a good cop, right? Like, this is the kind of just because it's not a feel good story doesn't make them like not as good as the guys that do something nice for somebody, which is fine. They're not mutually exclusive.
Well,
but
and modern day culture is so unaccepting of violence, right? And like, I'm not a proponent necessarily of violence, but violence exists because there are fucking evil people in the world, and you have to fight fire with fire. Like, there's a reason wars exist. There's people that want to fucking encroach and demolish every fucking sense of freedom that we have. Well, guess what? You send some bad motherfuckers with badass guns, and we fucking blow all their heads off, and we fucking kill the ideology. And there's some shit in the criminal world that, like, there's going to be crazy people and fucking mentally unstable people. And sure, you always want rehab that we can get these people on the right track, and I think there's a lot with the jail system we can fix, but like, criminal motherfuckers that are murderous, like, you got to meet violence with violence, and people don't want to see that. They want to fucking, oh my god, the cop was so high trained, and like, fuck that. The fucking the criminal who knows how to fist fight better than the cop that's wielding a goddamn knife, yeah, shoot his ass. Like, fuck, man. Like, it's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think people just has to be a little more accepting that certain circumstances, warranted violence is the answer.
nobody disagrees that, like, we could say like, okay, the golden rule, right? I had this conversation with some stupid sovereign citizen the other day, and it was like,
these guys.
it's we just want to live by the principle of nonviolence. Like, you just leave my stuff alone, I leave your stuff alone.
Doesn't work
I'm
that
like,
way.
okay, that is fine. We both of us can agree that this is a great way to live. Like, leave me alone, I leave you alone. That's fine until somebody doesn't want to leave me alone. or until somebody doesn't want to leave you alone. Then what?
Yeah.
So the problem is inevitable. It's like you said, like you have to be able to deal with an actual problem in real life.
It's the same, and I think that it's across all boards, like, firearm ownership and stuff, and why I'm such a huge proponent of the Second Amendment. Like, I'm a dude that, like, loves my hobby is, like, fist fighting, and, but I still carry a gun nearly everywhere I go because, people are opportunists, and I never want to be a fucking soft target. It's the last thing I ever want to be, and I think people are just, violence shouldn't exist, it won't exist, until it does exist. And then what's your reaction to that? You can't, please don't do this. That's not the way a criminal mindset works. And they've never dealt with that in their life, so they don't understand how fucking bad people can be. And I think that's why a lot of veterans are super pro-gun, because I'm like, I've seen the worst of the worst in fucking humanity, and I want to protect my friends and family from that. I don't want them to ever experience that, but I'll fucking do it. Let's,
Right.
So.
What's the legalities? Like, why are we allowing some of these Antifa protesters and stuff to block roads? Like, why aren't we just bulldozing them off?
It's all optics, man. It's ridiculous. That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like, leadership is weak. Why
are they allowing?
They just
That's
don't make
it?
the decision to not tolerate
the
it.
captains or whatever, the higher ups are saying, just leave them alone.
Once you get to a certain level in policing, people don't understand this, right? So like a street level cop really has nothing to do with politics, basically. But at some point, even at a local level, once you're in a certain level of police administration, sometimes you're not even like in the police union anymore. Like, it's a separate entity that's run by the city.
Voted
so
official.
now you answer to a city council or a mayor or whatever that is, city administrator, all that kind of stuff. And then they're making decisions based on what a bean counter says or whatever, somebody else says they need to do. So then the orders go down of, this is how we're going to handle the situation. And all the cops are like, this is stupid. And then the administrator's like, oh, well, this is what we got to do.
It's just
people
crazy to me that
people
we
get their
allow
panties in a bunch. It's like when we have to placate for the minority, and the minority can sway the fucking majority. Like, we're in the wrong situation. Certain things happen, and there's going to be times where a police officer makes poor judgment. But then I forget what news network it was. There was some interviewer that was like beating up police officers, and they put him through training scenarios, and he was like, react in 4 seconds to a guy running with a hand like this, a knife, and the guy shot him, and he was like, dude, he didn't have a knife. He wasn't fucking armed. And he was like, oh my God. And his perspective completely changed. And people just have to become more educated on how fucking crazy the dynamics of that environment is. Where it's like, in war, at least we know, insurgencies are a little different. Like, you're getting in a gunfight. You have to make really split decisions on target discrimination, these other things. But like, you're helping a family get a fucking cat out of a tree, changing a tire, and then someone's running up on you with a fucking AK-47. I mean, deal with that and have that in the back of your head every day. It's why I'm a huge law enforcement supporter, because I'm like, that is a very hyper challenging environment, and people have to understand that. And that's why society has to kind of allocate more resources to these men and women that are in those environments, because we have to set them up for success. We have to understand that it's going to be fucking challenging to make those decisions under hyper amounts of stress and endorphins.
Right. Yeah. Sucks, because there's a Chicago cop that I don't know what his sentence is going to be. I don't know if he's been sentenced. He shot a kid last year, maybe.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
He got
story,
convicted.
Yeah.
But it's I feel terrible, right? Because on the one side, it's like you can't go around and say, well, cops should be exempt from making mistakes.
Right.
But it fucking sucks, man. I mean, like, it wasn't like he woke up that day and said, you know what, I'm just gonna, hopefully today's the day I can just kill a motherfucker for no reason, right? Like, but you end up in these moments where, shit, I made the wrong decision just now, and I happen to be the one that has a life or death.
Yeah, but you're going into that decision too already in a bad state. You're already fucking afraid because people are doing weird shit now.
Yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying.
It's like
you feel
so
bad.
somebody
you
fucking
you can't
makes
justify
a move.
It, but what do you do?
I'm gonna get you before you get me.
And not only that, but the mental weight of people being so, violence averse to the fact where they never want to pull a trigger. And you see a lot of police officers getting severely wounded because they're taking guns are pointed at them to the phone, almost getting shot at. And they're like, fucking please don't do this. Like, cause they're like, my career is over if I make the wrong decision. And then they're getting shot and killed. And it's just like, God.
I want to give a shout out to that dude. His partner got shot recently, and it was a female. She got shot in the femur, and he walked around and put an extra shot in him. Did you see that?
Oh, no.
Oh, that was good. Yeah. He took him out from on the other side of the car, and when he came back around, just one more real quick.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I'm not agreeing with just I think there's two sides. It's a very complex conversation. But that's the thing. People have to participate in the conversation to make it better rather than just point fucking fingers and criticize. It's the same thing with the Second Amendment. I ban the fucking assault rifles. You dumb fuck. You know nothing about a weapon. You know nothing about a fucking a tool that's a firearm. So if you want to come to the table, educate yourself, and have a conversation on how do we focus on preservation of life, let's have that conversation. But people, they don't want to because it's hard, it's uncomfortable, it's challenging. They don't want to put the fucking work in. They're lazy.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
100%.
It's like Matt Rant podcast today. Sorry.
I like it.
Oh,
We all like
Get
it.
a little
dude.
fucking Jameson in me. I'm
Yeah,
like, fucking
why
people
not?
are
That's only a
stupid.
little bit. You barely
It's
have it.
okay. Let's have some more.
Let's
Yeah,
have
it needs-
some
it needs
more.
some more.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think cops should be the highest paid normal job in America? I think so. Instead of lawyers, doctors are still doctors.
Yeah, but people pay
Doctors
lawyers
are
in the
up there.
private sector. It's not. It's like the teachers. You know, people say that too. Like, oh, NBA players are paid so much more. Yeah, it's a private enterprise, right? So like,
Yeah.
we can't just fleece the property taxes to take whatever
Agreed.
we want. So there's certain environments. Like if you're in like Hamtramck inside Detroit, you don't have the money to pay them more. Like it doesn't exist. You can't. You just like. How are you going to do
that's
that?
the
So it's
top-down
tough.
leadership, right? Having people actually in the government high levels that can actually allocate like funds in the correct
Certainly
way.
creative ways to try to
Yeah,
allocate
and be
different
creative,
resources, for
not
sure.
just be fucking criminals.
Is
so.
there a way to privatize police departments then?
There could be. Yeah, I mean,
Would that be a solution?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because
That's interesting. I don't
your
know.
county is still going to be contracting a private company, so there's still only an allotted pot of money.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it solves. Other. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what it solves. Maybe the pay issue.
I mean, but removing it from, like he's saying.
but how do you have a
you've got-
private
you've
entity
got
protect
a
constitutional
Democratic
rights?
mayor
I don't know.
in Portland that wants to allow a bunch of horse shit to go on, like that's where that comes in handy, is taking it out of the elected officials' hands and saying, hey, you're not making this decision. The law is the law. There's no fucking this is how this is going to go. That's where I see the benefit of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, that's
I'm
why
just
contracting
curious.
exists, right? I mean, that's what essentially the government
Yeah,
did with that.
exactly, yeah.
But then where does the money come from?
If
That's
you're in a
federal.
private,
That's-
see, if as a cop right now, if I'm working, and sometimes even when I'm not working, I'm obligated by public oath to do something, right? There's a sense of obligation. If it's private, then I'm just a breach of contract. Now you sue me civilly. There's no. I see there being some pretty big holes probably with privatizing. But the pay would be
Gotcha.
nice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out some sort of solution because otherwise, again, what's this? Why do you want to become a cop anymore after everything that's going on? Like, it's fucking insane. And if you don't pay people to do dangerous jobs more money, why would you do this?
There's places in the South that they start you at like $12 an hour, and you can't even get a vest. If you want one, you have to buy it yourself.
You're kidding.
No, they
My
don't
God.
even supply you like a basic tool for the job, and you're getting $12 an hour. So who's signing up for that, right? Is it
Yeah.
is it an educated person? Like, this is the conversation we've had because so many departments now are requiring degrees, bachelor's degrees. So why would somebody go do this job? You put yourself through college. Now you come out with $40,000-$50,000 of school debt, and you've got this education, and you're going to go into a job that's going to take you literally your entire career to ever pay off your college debt and live a life.
It's crazy.
Like the mindset, which is it's kind of a good thing though when you think about it. When you think about who's doing that job, then it's really actually most cops doing it for the exact reason they should be. Because of that, in
Right.
spite of that, right? So like it's kind of good news in the sense of who's the kind of person that sticks this out, the kind of fucking person you want being a cop, probably.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, I think that's where like people have to like be more aware in their thought process too, where like they'll ridicule and criticize police officers, but then the second that they have an emotional or disaster emergency in their life, who's the first thing they do? They dial 911. So you're like, this is obviously a resource that you're going to use in your life. Why are you criticized? Sure, I think everybody should be criticized, right? We criticize ourselves in business every day because it makes ourselves better. We have to be better every day. If we're not, we're moving backwards. Fuck that. That's not how the way life should work. But like, we have to be constructive criticism to put the best people in those positions to fucking serve the best mission that we give them, which is to serve and protect, right? Or community. So it's like, that's where the conversation would be. But again, people are fucking lazy. They don't want to have it. And I guess I'm just ranting on it, but I don't know how you start that conversation, because it seems like, in my personal opinion, every time you combat someone with like a little bit of logic, and I'm not even well read on the subject, but like they immediately shut down. They say, fuck this, fuck that. Let me use these examples. You're like, of course, there's always going to be the one or two examples that are like, you had a shit cop, a shit veteran. Like, people are shitty sometimes. It's just the way the world works. But overall, how do we fucking give them the tools for success? So when we fucking dial 911, we know we have the best.
Yeah.
But I don't know where that conversation starts.
I think it's starting a lot on social media. I mean, this is the water we swim in, right? And that's sort of like what Officer Daniels was talking about earlier, like why we do this in the first place. Because it can not only encourage cops, but it can educate non-cops. It can take people from a point of going like, oh, I never thought of it that way. If they're willing to listen, you can't make somebody listen that doesn't want to listen. You know, like you can't. Those conversations where people just shut down if you confront them with a basic logical argument, like you can't stop that. But there's a lot of people that are impressionable on social media. That's where they're going to frame their opinions in. Unfortunately, that's all they'll use. And so if there's effective voices in there saying things that are intelligent and reasonable, and if they hear it and they kind of catch on to that, I think it's at least maybe a starting point.
Man, well, this was a fascinating show. It was awesome to have you guys on.
Thanks for
We
having
went
me.
to every spectrum in this show.
Yeah, for real.
We started off fucking strong.
From
boy.
nipple
Wrists in the
sucking to
butt. Hold on, yeah,
we
you
got
going?
some Drinkin' Bros of the week.
Yeah, I'll give it Drink Bro of the Week. This was super kind. This is why I just freaking love Drinkin' Bros. Franklin, our facilities manager, just said, hey, you have a package. Wasn't expecting one. Opened it. And this is literally 15 minutes before I stepped on the show. Said, Matt, just watched your podcast the other day with Matt Frazier. And as an avid cross-sitter myself, I really got a kick out of the comparison of your home gyms. I'm going to have to side with Frazier on this one. More chalk. Here's some to get you started. Keep up the great content. So he just heard the show, must have Googled Black Rifle Coffee, The Office, and Ross Athletic Supply. Mike is his name at rossathletic.com. Just sent me out fucking 3 things of chalk for my gym.
That's amazing.
Small gesture of kindness, but it was super, super heartwarming, man. Thank you so much. That was super kind, dude. Appreciate it.
And mine, a similar thing happened. So I showed up to I'm in San Antonio live. I'm sitting in a tiny chair, which is why my legs are up. I'm really, you guys did not have an extra chair here.
No.
For a man like myself. But I got a package sent here to Black Rifle Coffee. Just said, hey, wanted to thank you and honor for your release of When Darkness Falls, He Doesn't Catch It. And the birth of your new son, we made you a sign. St. James Place, Opium Den, and Polite Horse, which is from the book. It's Donnie and Joey Nelson, and they're the owners of the Luckiest Collection. And it was a fucking awesome handmade personalized sign from the first book.
They also made that flag up there.
They did.
So they made everybody a gift.
So what we're saying
damn,
is,
that's
if you want to
amazing.
be Drinking Bro of the Week, just send
Send
us
us
free
free
shit.
Yeah.
Send us some free shit.
This is smart. This is smart.
Well,
Well,
gentlemen.
Well, Mike, Officer Daniels.
Where can they check you guys
Yeah.
out, man? Like social media, because we need to get your followers up, dude.
I know I gotta catch up. It's
But he's
hopeless.
verified.
Yeah.
What
Let's
up,
talk
good
about
boy?
that. Yeah. And if you just search off the cuff, Mike the Cop, that'll be the podcast, or just Mike the Cop, and you'll find me anywhere: Facebook, Instagram.
What about you, Mr. Daniels?
Same thing. Officer Daniels anywhere. pretty
How do you
much.
spell officer?
I think it starts with a Z. Zofficer. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming on, and I'm sure we'll be working with you guys in the future and making some epic Black Rifle content and stuff for your channels and my channel and all the channels.
I
and
can't
thank you.
wait for them to just put me in cuffs.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have a lot of LEOs who listen to the show, and they're stoked that you guys are on. You guys have been requested for a while, so thank you for coming on.
It's awesome.
And we're going to start an initiative after this, bring pink handcuffs back. So now we arrest criminals in pink handcuffs to
Yes,
really embarrass them.
I like it.
Yep.
Oh, also too, if you have Drinkin' Bros of the Week you would like to submit, please go to the Facebook page, write Dave a note in the message, and tell us who you want us to be highlighting on these shows.
And
Yes.
very soon after, you'll go to drinkinbros.com and you'll submit it there. New website coming soon.
I hope so.
Coming soon.
I hope so.
Come on, Mark. All right, thanks, guys.
For Matt Best, Ross Patterson, Jared Taylor, Mike the Cop, and Officer Daniels. This was Drinkin' Bros. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Woo!